Some folks will tell you it's just an old wives' tale, harmless little sayings passed down from generation to generation. Others will whisper that it's much deeper than that these are the kinds of warnings you don't dare to ignore. In Hoodoo, the spiritual tradition deeply rooted in African American culture, survival, and ancestral wisdom, certain signs, omens, and superstitions have carried weight for centuries. Not because they sound spooky or superstitious or just simply catchy, but because generation after generation has witnessed what happens when you brush them off. These are more than just sayings, they're cautionary lessons wrapped in simple words. See, hoodoo isn't always loud, sometimes it's subtle. A feeling, a sign, a small shift in your environment or energy that lets you know something is moving in the spirit world. And if you know what to do, what to look for, you can protect yourself long before trouble even knocks on your door. So today we're going to break down 5 hoodoo superstitions that you might want to take seriously. And by the end of this video, you may be side-eyeing a few little things around your home and some things that you do a little differently. Hey y'all, I'm Yaya. Thank you so much for tuning in today's video where we are going to cover just 5 of the many hoodoo superstitions. And when you really start digging into these hoodoo superstitions, you realize a lot of them come from a place of trying to protect yourself from harm, from betrayal, from loss of control, whether it's not leaving your hair behind, not sweeping at night, or watching who's touching your personal items. At the root of it, it's the fear that someone might have power over you without your consent. And while some of these traditions are deeply rooted in survival and ancestral wisdom, that constant sense of fear can start to weigh on you mentally. That's why I found therapy so helpful. I started using BetterHelp, who is the sponsor of today's video, and I realized that sometimes my spiritual practices were intersecting with old anxieties, trust issues, and past experiences I never fully processed. Having a licensed therapist means I'm not just talking in circles or bottling things up. I'm working with someone trained to help me sort through those deeper fears with compassion, honesty, and zero judgment. And BetterHelp makes it easy. There's no awkward office visits, no waiting rooms. You can connect by video, phone, or even just through messaging from wherever you feel most safe and comfortable. Most people get matched with a licensed therapist within 48 hours, and if it's not the right fit, switching therapists is free and simple. You can start your own journey today by using my link in the description box below for a special discount. That's betterhelp.com/BlaqueWitchYaya. Answer a few questions, and BetterHelp will match you with someone experienced in helping people process anxiety, trust, family patterns, all those layers that can show up even in our spiritual lives. Because protecting your peace isn't just spiritual, it's mental too. And thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. So let's get into these superstitions. The first one I'm sure you heard of is quite simple, but it carries weight. Don't ever let someone sweep over your feet. In hoodoo tradition, if someone sweeps over your feet intentionally or not, it's said you'll never get married. That broom isn't just moving dirt, it's sweeping away your blessings, your luck, and specifically your prospects for love and companionship. But here's where we go a little deeper. Brooms aren't just cleaning tools in hoodoo, they're spiritual instruments. They're used in cleansing ceremonies to sweep out negativity, stagnant energy, and even unwanted spirits. So when that broom passes over your feet, it's as if your personal road, your spiritual pathway is being swept clean of potential partners. Your chance at building a stable household, a family, or a lasting relationship is symbolically being removed. That's why even today, if someone accidentally sweeps over your feet, you'll often see folks react fast by spitting on the broom or spitting directly on their foot. Now, I know that sounds nasty, so let's go over the importance of spit in hoodoo. In hoodoo, spit isn't just a bodily reflex, it's a spiritual tool as well. Your saliva contains your personal essence, your DNA, your life force, your connection to your own spirit. So when you spit on something, you're reclaiming domination over your energy. You're asserting spiritual authority. Spitting on your foot after it being swept is a way of saying, no, you will not take away from my blessings. I take that back. I cancel that. I got my control back. This act goes back to African traditions where bodily fluids, your breath, sweat, saliva, are seen as powerful carriers of life force. Even in other hoodoo workings, spit is used to seal work, empower petitions, or add personal energy to a ritual. You'll sometimes see workers spit on their candles to add their DNA to whatever ritual that they are doing. So to outsiders, it may look a little odd, it may look weird, even a little nasty, but to those who understand the spiritual language behind it, it's a protective response. You're not just reacting out of fear, you're actively reclaiming your destiny in that moment. And trust me, you'll rarely see an elder let anyone get away with sweeping over their feet without handling it right away, even if they're already married. Okay, so next we have the itchy palm. In hoodoo, your hands are more than just tools to grab and hold. They're spiritual antennas constantly interacting with energy, picking up on vibrations and receiving information from the world around you. Your palms specifically are considered sensitive points where energy flows in and out. That's why when your palm starts itching, it's not just a random thing that happens, it's your spirit picking up on an energetic shift. Okay, so now here's where it gets specific. If your right hand itches, it's said that money, blessings, or opportunities are coming your way. That's your receiving hand, the gimme hand, hand out, hand out, hand out. Spiritually, the right side is often associated with receiving, pulling abundance into your life. But on the other hand, literally, if your left hand itches, that's a whole different story. That's your releasing hand, your tiding hand, your going out energy. An itchy left palm suggests that money might be slipping out, that an unexpected bill might show up, or that you're about to spend more money than you planned. Your car may be about to act up. It's like, hey, get your coins ready. But it doesn't stop at money. These hands are seen as extensions of your spiritual flow. We work with them, we pray with them, we create with them. So when your hand reacts, they're often mirroring what's going on around you energetically. That's why some people, especially old root workers, will slap or rub the itching hand against wood or either lock in the incoming money by putting their right hand in their pocket. Because once you become aware of what your body is signaling to you, you can respond directly to that energy. And here's the thing, in hoodoo, the body is one of your first divination tools. Spirit will talk to you through small sensations long before you see the full picture play out. Your hands, your feet, even your stomach, they'll give you spiritual nudges if you're paying attention. You know that gut feeling, or you get knots in your stomach when something's about to happen. You may feel nervous all of a sudden. That's your body giving you a warning like, hey, something's going on. So the next time your palm starts itching, don't just scratch it immediately. Ask yourself, what's trying to come in? What's trying to leave out? Okay, so for the third one, not everybody may have experienced it, but birds tapping on your window. Now this one isn't as cutesy and playful. If a bird taps on your window, or worse, tries to fly inside your home, that's not something to brush off as random or think, oh, how cute. It's quite the opposite. In hoodoo, birds are seen as powerful messengers, carriers between realms. They have wings to move between the sky, the heavens, and the earth, the living, and by extension, they carry messages from the spirit world. Depending on the bird and the circumstances, they can bring warnings, omens, or news of transition, especially involving death. But let's break this down a little more. Let's start with the window. In spiritual work, windows aren't just a cute piece of glass. They're portals. They represent a thin veil between two dimensions, what happens here in the physical and what's going on in the unseen. That's why even during cleansing rituals in hoodoo, root workers will tell you to crack open a window or door, because as you drive out the heavy energy, the negativity, or unwanted spirits that no longer belong there, you have to give it a way to exit out. You just don't want to stir up the spirits and they have nowhere to go. You open a path for release. A closed room with no open exit while doing spiritual work can cause energy to swirl and become stagnant, or worse, attached to you, because there's nowhere else to go but onto you. But an open window allows that energy to cross back over the threshold into the spirit world where it belongs. So now imagine a bird tapping on your window, tapping on your portal. It's not simply a bird that lost its way. It's often interpreted as a spirit trying to cross that veil. Many people believe that when a bird repeatedly hits or lingers at your window, a spirit may be trying to enter, or it may be a warning that a transition is about to occur, that death is near, either in your household or within your close circle. The ancestors may also use birds to deliver messages when they sense that someone in the family needs spiritual protection or preparation. And depending on the type of bird, whether it's a blackbird, a crow, a raven, or even a common sparrow, the message can carry different weight. Blackbirds in particular are often associated with ancestral or death-related messages. That's why elders will respond immediately by lighting a white candle for protection, burning incense, praying specific psalm prayers to fortify the home spiritually, sprinkling protective powders like brick dust around the home. Because in Hoodoo, we don't just observe a sign and be like, oh, okay, death is near. You want to react to it. These aren't just old tales. They are survival wisdom passed down from people who understand that the spirit world is always closer than it seems, and the spirit world is always trying to communicate with you. All right, so let's lighten it up a bit. Dropping utensils is number 4. In Hoodoo, when you accidentally drop a utensil, it's not just being clumsy. It's believed to be spirit speaking to you, giving you a subtle physical warning. They say if you drop a knife, a man is said to be on his way. If you drop a fork, expect a woman to be on her way. And let's break that down deeper. So why a knife for a man? Why a fork for a woman? In spiritual symbolism, not just in Hoodoo, but across many traditions, sharp, piercing objects like knives are tied to masculine energy. The knife cuts, the knife penetrates, it divides. It represents active assertion, sometimes even aggressive energy. Masculine energy is often associated with action, initiation, and confrontation, even if confrontation is subtle or needed. Now, on the other hand, with the fork, it has multiple prongs. It gathers, it collects, it holds and organizes. It represents nurturing, accommodation, inviting nature in. It's usually tied to like feminine energy because it's more welcoming. So think of it like the fork gathers, the knife divides. So when you drop one unexpectedly, spirit may be telling you that the type of energy connected to whatever you drop is on its way. It's approaching your space. But it's not always a neutral message. The utensils falling isn't just about who's coming, but it's about why are they coming and why is spirit warning you about it. Sometimes it's simply a heads up like, hey, company's coming, get ready. But other times it may be a subtle warning, especially if your spirit feels unsettled after dropping the objects. Did the objects hit you? Did you cut yourself on the knife? Did the fork like poke your pinky toe in the wrong way? For the knife, the male visitor may be bringing confrontation, tension, or presenting decisions that need to be made. The female visitor, the fork, may be bringing emotional matters, family issues, or relational entanglements into your space. If someone about to call you and be like, girl, guess what your cousin did? You may need to ignore that phone call because it may like disturb your mood. That's why many root workers would immediately read the energy in that moment to see what's going on. Last but not least, and I feel like a lot of us grew up with this rule, don't whistle in the house. Ever. In Hoodoo tradition, whistling indoors is more than just bad manners. It's seen as spiritually dangerous. The belief is that whistling creates a sound frequency that mimics spirit calls, like a beacon that cuts through both physical and spiritual space. It's not just about the melody, it's about the vibration that the sound creates. Okay, so see, sound, of course, is energy, and certain pitches, especially that high piercing tone of a whistle, are similar to the kinds of frequencies that spirits respond to. Many compare it to like the sound of ringing in your ear, like when your ear starts ringing, it's like which is also considered a spiritual signal as well. When your ear rings all of a sudden, it's believed that your spiritual antennas are picking up on a shift in energy, like spirit is trying to get your attention. That high-pitched whistle carries a very familiar sharp vibration that cuts through dimensions unintentionally, signaling to wandering spirits that your space is open and available. And so whistling doesn't necessarily call on only positive energy just because you're whistling and you're in a good mood. You might be casually whistling while cleaning or relaxing at night, not realizing you're opening the spiritual front door, especially in households with altar work, ancestor work, or you do root work actively, where spirits and ghosts are just mingling and chit-chatting. This type of house is already charged, so causing that type of sound, the spirits are going to be like, what happened? Wait, hold on. It's kind of like accidentally dialing the wrong number. You don't know who's going to answer. In Hoodoo, spiritual work is done with intention. You call spirit when you need them. You open portals carefully. You close them respectfully. Whistling bypasses all that protocol, creating a back door for entities to enter. Whether you're ready or not, you call them, so they're about to answer. That's why elders will say, if you want company, whistle indoors, but don't cry when it shows up. So the rule is simple. Let spirits come to you when you call them on purpose. Don't accidentally invite company you're not prepared to host. So that was just 5 of many. Now listen, while these superstitions carry deep meaning and spiritual weight, I want to be clear. Take them seriously, but don't let them drive you crazy. If your nephew accidentally starts whistling in the living room, your house isn't about to be taken over by demons. You're safe. If somebody accidentally sweeps across your feet, it doesn't mean you're cursed and going to be single forever. You're okay. These signs and warnings are not meant to scare you. They're passed down as cautionary wisdom. They serve as little checkpoints to keep us spiritually aware, but don't let it make you paranoid. It teaches us to be grounded and pay attention to what's happening around us. Just don't get caught up in what you're doing in the moment, but things that's going on around you, to not be caught off guard. Because that's really what Hoodoo teaches at its core, to pay attention to the small things before they become big things. A little sign today might help you avoid a much bigger problem tomorrow, and that's why Hoodoo isn't fear-based, it's survival-based. It's protection, healing, and prosperity. It's the wisdom of our ancestors showing us how to stay covered, how to stay ahead, and how to move carefully through a world that doesn't play fair. So yes, respect the signs, but remember, spiritual power lives in your awareness, your intention, and your ability to respond with wisdom, not panic. So we only talked about 5 superstitions in this video. There are hundreds, so share some down below that I should talk about in the next video. Let me know if there's any that you can relate to, or was there any in this video that caught your attention because you never heard of it, or did any of these superstitions actually give you an accurate warning? Share that story down below. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video, and like I always say, as above so below, as within so without, as the universe so the soul. Until next time you guys, Ashe baby.